Hello, my name is Lisa Ann. I'm here in Santa Cruz County Juvenile Court. It's Valentine's Day, 1996, and I am here fighting for my son, my 2-year-old son, who was illegally taken from me from the hospital when he was born. I want it understood also that I am fighting for my daughter, who was taken by the same people at CPS, governmental workers, individuals who are corrupt within the system. By the same people she was taken illegally November 1st. I'm also fighting for my daughter. What they are doing is completely illegal. They are aware of it. I have already gotten about 6 CPS workers off the case on my daughter because I've told them about the case and they are unwilling to take the case because they know what's involved. These people who are doing the illegal proceedings here are very aware that what they are doing is illegal. I want it understood that I have been fighting for my children extremely hard since they were born. I love my children. I have a very strong bond with my children. In their termination today, they stated simply that my son is adoptable, and the commissioner stated that I have never done anything to show any interest in my children, that I have never shown any desire to fight for my children, and it is her decision based on this that my rights be terminated. She did not inform me that I have the right to appeal, and I will appeal. As my public defender told me, I will appeal this. There is a lot of racism involved. There is a lot of prejudice involved against the poor, and they are the ones that are usually presented in these cases. I want it understood also, perhaps this can be put in Spanish. You as the public need to get in touch with this station and show your support, get informed. These things are happening and they will be stopped as soon as the public knows, because I have a right to the Seventh Amendment right to a trial by jury, and if they ever had a jury, my children would never have been taken. It's all because it's private. They do not want the press involved. They've told me they're very upset that the press is here. Thank you for your support. Yes, that was the judgment made by Commissioner Cloud to terminate my parental rights. Based on that, CPS stated in their closing statement that my child is adoptable, completely ignoring the right for us to fight regarding my obvious bond with my son, despite that I haven't seen him since May, and they had a bonding study, which is obvious, so obvious that the lady had at least to say that I am a good playmate, though I've taken care of my daughter perfectly for 4 months. And that was CPS's statement, based on that he is adoptable. Of course, he's healthy and adoptable. Commissioner Cloud stated that I have never shown any concern whatsoever in fighting for my son, that I've never done anything to show any desire to parent my son, that I obviously do not care in this case, and this is in the obvious face that I have been fighting for my son very hard since he was born. And
you've attended
everything I have been able
every visitation?
Every visitation I have seen my son. I was working on a service plan that was court-ordered to me.
What happened to that service plan?
That was court-ordered by a judge who stepped in, Judge Agliano, at my 12-month review. And I did the service plan completely for 4.5 months of that 6 months, and had to move out of county to find reasonable housing as far as the costs on welfare. And when I did, CPS Santa Cruz, through Commissioner Cloud, refused to transfer my dependency, which means I had no funding available to continue my service plan, which was court-ordered by the Superior Court of California here in Santa Cruz, and denied to me by that very same court. A different judge, Commissioner Cloud, denied that to me.
So you didn't complete the service plan because there was no funding for the program, and then your parental rights were terminated because you didn't complete your service plan?
My visitations were terminated back in September because I didn't complete the service plan because I couldn't, and that had only 1.5 months left to complete.
And then when you no longer had visitation, then that was used as evidence that you're not concerned about your child?
That was different things are considered in the courts. Today, the only issues concerned were, is my child adoptable? Of course, he's healthy and adoptable. And do I have a bond, which was completely ignored.
And the bond, of course, was severely interrupted by the courts themselves.
Well, it was attempted to be severely interrupted by the courts by denying me seeing my son, by denying the transfer of dependency, the very court that ordered that I have that dependency through a different judge. But yes, Commissioner Cloud denied that transfer of dependency.
Were there any allegations of child abuse at any point in your case?
No, there never were. There never were.
I know many people watching this video believe that it is very difficult for a person to have their parental rights terminated, and that it has to be only in cases of severe abuse.
That was something that my lawyer kept trying to put forth, that they had to show there was severe detriment to my child, even to terminate my visitations with my son, which they did. And there's been absolutely no evidence of that from the start. The reasons for taking my child from the start were illegal. They lied to me and told me that these were reasons for taking a child. And they did take my child and award him to the county after he was 3 months old, when I said I wanted to live in a multicultural community. My children are of Mexican, which is Indian descent, and when I said I wanted to live in a mixed culture community, my CPS worker, along with Commissioner Cloud and Judge Kelsey, awarded my son to the court.
Now, didn't Chris Dibdahl of Child Protective Services make some sort of comment about the ancestry of your children?
Hey, thank you for mentioning that. That is was really an incredible insight into CPS thinking. When they first illegally seized my daughter Star, Chris Dibdahl told me that the court was very concerned that this child's mother was not aware that her child is white. Perhaps this is because they are aware that there is an act that says that they cannot take Indian children. There is an act that states this, and they have denied my children their heritage in that. And so Chris Dibdahl said the court is very concerned about the mental stability of a mother who can't tell that her child is white, that the foster parent can obviously see that your daughter is white, and that I seem to have a very severe mental problem there. And of course, he was present at my very first visit with my daughter after she was illegally seized, and he stated at that time, "Oh, I'm sorry, it is apparent that your daughter is brown. My apologies there." Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that one of the reasons that there's so much concern about whether your daughter is white or not may have to do with their planning to have her adopted out eventually?
I think that has everything to do with it, in conjunction with their prejudice against me for not having a great deal of finances available. I have been taking very wonderful care of my daughter until she was illegally seized, and I am perfectly fine on my finances. However, the people trying to adopt her, as far as I know, may be millionaires. That's very possible. They have a tremendous amount of money to waste, and they have been spending it on a lawyer to fight for getting my son illegally since he was 3 years old.
Now, Lisa, I understand that you attempted to make your own tape recording of the proceeding today. What happened?
Yes, I did. I went in with my tape recorder going, which was provided me by these wonderful people here that are recording us, and I went in with it on record. And I got a wonderful recording of what Commissioner Cloud had to say about the tape recorder. I told her that she knows that I have tape recorded here in the past, and she has seen me tape record in the past, which she denied. She says, "I've never seen you tape record before here." I told her that there is a precedence set here. O.J. Simpson had his entire trial for a year covered by TV, that the public is not allowed in these courtrooms. There are illegal things being passed as law in this courtroom, and I have a right to a Seventh Amendment right to a trial by jury, and the public is not allowed in the court even through jury, and that is my Seventh Amendment right. And this was my statement regarding the recorder. At the end of this much, you'll hear on the recording that the telephone was picked up and someone was called. She stated, "The deputy is being called in. I want you to inform your client that her recorder will be confiscated if she doesn't turn it off right now." And so I caught a little more of it and turned off the recorder and brought it out here, as they suggested I bring it out of the courtroom completely.
Now, was Commissioner Cloud, did she inform you of your right to appeal?
No, she did not. In fact, she made it sound by the end of this court proceeding that this is it. She terminated my parental rights completely illegally, saying that I've shown absolutely no interest in being a mother, which has been completely disproven by all the fighting I've been doing for my son, who I love so dearly, and my daughter. And she terminated my parental rights. That's what happened right here.
You're continuing the fight to get for your daughter?
I am continuing also my fight for my daughter. She was completely illegally seized. It was stated in court by the CPS workers and my lawyer that what happened with my daughter was that they simply saw me in Santa Cruz. CPS workers saw me in Santa Cruz and sent the police to seize my daughter. And they gave the excuse, which had to be an excuse because of the outcome, that they were going to get in touch with CPS Sutter County because they wanted to check on my standing with CPS Sutter County. They're the people who were involved with my daughter, who I got in touch with voluntarily to get my son back also.
And CPS in Sutter County gave you a clear bill of health.
Absolutely. The CPS Sutter County does not have the prejudice that's involved in these few individuals here. They do not have the racism that has been showing up throughout this whole thing that's involved in Santa Cruz here. They fought very hard to have my son brought back to me immediately.
Were there any incidents that happened between when your case was reviewed in Sutter County and when you came to Santa Cruz?
No, there was not, and there's plenty of evidence from anybody who ever saw me with my daughter here, and I've had people say she's one of the happiest babies I've ever seen.
So why would Santa Cruz County reopen a CPS case if it had already been settled in Sutter County with no new evidence?
As they stated, CPS stated they had a previous interest in my daughter.
And what would that mean?
They have refused to say what this previous interest was. I assume that it has everything to do with that they have been illegally trying to adopt my son to the Scrats since he was 3 months old. The Scrats apparently cannot have their own children, as they've been married for 3 or 4 years now and have not produced a child of their own.
Now, I understand that your attorney was not allowed to appear on our video?
No, she was not allowed. The only statement I heard is that she is disallowed to speak with the public regarding these issues. And that's my understanding.
Okay, what is your next step legally?
My next step legally is, which was not told to me by the commissioner, which was her necessity to tell me by the law, is that I have the right to appeal. Shanoa told me after we left court, Lisa, get in touch with me. We're going to file an appeal for this because we already filed the writ for the appeal. And so we will be setting a date for that appeal for having terminated my parental rights and initiated adoption procedures. That's what they did today, was to initiate adoption procedures, which of course have been in existence since my son was 3 months old and he turned 2 November 24th.
Now, was one of the reasons that Star was taken from you because you were homeless?
No, that wasn't the reason. In fact, CPS Santa Cruz had absolutely no right to take my daughter, in that I was living in Monterey County at the time. I had a place in Monterey County, and I was coming to Santa Cruz pretty regularly. I like Santa Cruz. And so they didn't even have the right to take jurisdiction in this case unless some incident had occurred in Santa Cruz, which you could check with anybody involved in the seizure of my daughter, that she was perfectly healthy and happy. Check with the doctor. She was sent to the doctor immediately. Clean bill of health, of course. A very happy child, well taken care of, well dressed for the weather. Of course, I love my daughter. I love my son. Yeah.
Are you homeless now?
No, I'm not homeless now. And there needs to be made a differentiation between street people, is a catchword, and woods people. I believe this is why there was an act initiated for Indian children, to protect Indian children, because a lot of Indians still do live in the woods in perfectly warm, wonderful houses. They might not have running water, but they take care of all their needs. and in a wonderful way, and I believe that's why that law had to come to pass. I am not, and never have been, a street person. In the past, I have lived in the woods for a while, which is a wonderful way to get in touch with your religion. A wonderful, safe place to live when I did, all alone. It's very different than a street person.
Thank you so much, Lisa Ann, and good luck to you.
Hey, all right, thank you, and God bless you. And I should also note for the people fighting for their children that there is no law that says that you can take a child for being homeless. You have to take good care of that child, and that is what I was doing with Star. Of course, I had a home then. But people should know who are homeless. They can't take your child for being homeless. They might say that's the law, but it is not.
Thank you so much.
Hey, all right, thank you.